Was it password protected then? Make sure you open the right file with that. No slideshows here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Lim, and I'm a rising sophomore at FM High School in Fayetteville, New York. First, a special thanks to the guests, Chief Regino, Chief Kugler, Chief Kiofi, and the board members for providing this opportunity. Today, I would like to talk about cybercrime, specifically identity theft. Identity theft occurs when criminals steal others' information for personal gain, and it has become a huge issue worldwide. Many people tend to believe that identity theft won't happen to them, but in reality, it can occur to anyone. In fact, about 15 million Americans were affected by identity theft in 2016. It is startling how dangerous identity theft can be. In one serious case, a Nigerian illegally living in Durham, North Carolina, stole tax information from thousands of teachers through phishing. He disguised himself as a school superintendent and requested W-2 tax forms of numerous teachers from an employee at a city school system. Although he was caught, the case shows that everyone can be affected, even teachers who have a high education. There are many types of identity theft. There has been an increasing concern over identity theft through mobile devices. In the past, identity theft criminals used to obtain personal information by digging through trash, conning people, and going through mail. However, as technology has evolved, so has the way identity theft criminals obtain personal information. One of the most common ways an identity theft criminal can obtain information is through Wi-Fi. It is very easy for hackers to gain personal information. For instance, Starbucks is a very popular place for people to go and do some work. According to the coffee chain's policies, it is the customer's responsibility to make sure his or her Wi-Fi security is safe. This type of unsecure Wi-Fi can expose a person to problems such as software sniffers. These criminals can capture any email, web search, or file transfers. It is very easy for these hackers to capture information because there are YouTube videos and sniffing software available on the internet. Another type of problem a person can experience is free public Wi-Fi. If a laptop connects to this Wi-Fi set up by a hacker, all the laptop shared folders will be accessible by every other laptop on Wi-Fi. This free public Wi-Fi can happen a lot in airports, but also happens a lot in hotels. Although identity theft through Wi-Fi is very common and dangerous, it is very easily solved. The best way to protect against identity theft through Wi-Fi is to get a virtual private network, or VPN. This virtual private network encrypts the data that is coming to and from the laptop. The encryption prevents hackers from obtaining web information and files on his or her computer. What is the federal and local government doing about this problem? At the federal level, the Department of Justice has helped pass many laws to restrict identity theft. For instance, Congress has passed the Identity Theft and Assumption Deterrence Act with the help of the Department of Justice. This law prohibits the use or transfer of information on another person without lawful authority. Violating the amendment can result in 15 years in prison, a fine, and forfeiting personal property. You may wonder what actions you should take if your identity is stolen. The answer is very straightforward. The Federal Trade Commission has created a website called identitytheft.org, a one-stop shopping method that provides the documentation needed for victims of identity theft. This website supplies documentation such as a recovery plan and pre-filled letters to your bank, credit card companies, and utility companies. It also allows the victim to file an identity theft report. However, there are 3 cases in which victims may also report the case to local law enforcement agencies. In the case the victim knows the identity thief, the criminal used the victim's name for a crime, or a debt collector insists on filing a report, the person should file a local police report. Even banks have started to see the identity theft problem and have implemented chips and credit cards to authenticate purchases. Now you may be wondering why these attacks are still increasing even with the new technology like chip-based cards, as well as great effort from both federal and local law enforcement agencies. One of the main reasons is because the attack could come from unexpected places around the world. Filing a police report would not be helpful because the attack happened in another jurisdiction. Another reason why identity theft crimes are increasing is because it is very easy for the identity theft criminal to get away with this crime. When most people see an unfamiliar charge to their credit card or bank, they usually get a refund from the bank and don't bother to contact local law enforcement. This poses a few problems. Letting the criminal get away scotch-free leaves another victim or the same victim vulnerable to another attack. Another reason is that evolving precautionary measures, such as chip-based cards, have also made crooks change the way they are committing these crimes. As a result, internet fraud has continuously increased and online criminals are becoming smarter. Another way they are getting around the chip-based cards is by new account fraud. They open an account with a victim's name, social security number, and date of birth. Using this info, the criminal can make a new account. The new account can go undetected for a long time because all transactions go to the crook. In conclusion, identity theft is a serious threat. Every year, more and more people are victims to identity theft. From last year, identity theft victims have grown by 16%. As new technologies such as Apple Pay come out, it is important for people to become well informed about the necessary precautions to be able to prevent from becoming identity theft victims.
Thank you, Daniel. Any questions about cybersecurity or cybercrime for Daniel? Comments? Chief? Sure.
Very, very nice presentation, and I'm very impressed on how far you came to be here from Syracuse, New York. You mentioned it just in at the ending of your presentation about being informed. Do you feel that there's enough information out there to the general public to inform them on just what to do and what not to do?
No.
Do you have any suggestions on what could be done to advance that situation?
I think what the chief's trying to say, Daniel, to you or ask you is that you mentioned the last topic was identity theft. There's a lot of identity theft that's out there, a lot of it. And we need to protect that information, but we need to tell our vulnerable population how to protect it. And I think he's asking what, first of all, I guess the question is there a lack of information that's being provided to the general public on this topic? And two, if so, how do we go about getting that information more out there to our vulnerable population, and particularly most of the older population, our senior citizens?
I think that you could inform the population through ads or by SNS, like social media, on how to protect and protect against identity theft.
We could start on putting your presentation on Facebook, and we could share that Facebook page with everybody, if in fact our senior population is on Facebook. But it's a very important topic today. I think cybersecurity, traditional law enforcement, Frank will attest to this, I'm sorry, Chief Regino, will attest to this, that traditional law enforcement is that if it happened in the confines of Westwood, or Saddlebrook, or Tenafly, or River Edge, or wherever you're from, we'll handle it. But when it comes to computer crime and cybersecurity, you don't know where it's come from. Even this identity theft, a lot of our scams, these are overseas crimes. We have no jurisdiction. We can't even go out of our state to go arrest somebody. So it's a very, very critical crime that's happening with the cybersecurity and the cyber crimes that happen. And it's important that the younger generation like you understand it and now teach the older generations how to better combat and be provided with the information to protect ourselves. So Daniel, you did a great job. I want to thank you, and Dad, I want to thank you for encouraging your young boys here to be involved in this.
Now, that subject may be a good subject for one of the other students here to research what actually could be done to really inform the general public of what goes on, because there's so many scams that go on. We're taking reports in Westwood almost every day with people that are getting scammed, either whether it's on the phone, over the telephone, over the internet, over your iPhone, and every day people are just, they're being fooled because they get people call them and they're acting like a legitimate business person or whatever, and people are going to the bank and taking money out of the bank and giving it to them without even really knowing or proving who they are. So that might be a great project for one of you students to go and bring out and suggest, even to the government officials, you know, what could possibly be done to bring this subject out to light to the public so that perhaps we could curtail a lot of the scams that are going on. Thank you.